Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt. With me today are Jeanine B. and Bridget D. This is your Daily Dose of Happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today.
Now, before we got started, we were chatting, as we normally do, just getting ready to start doing the show. And I realized I didn't give either of these ladies a little heads up about what I wanted to talk about, because I've been thinking about, well, of course, we're all in TIA. We're in TIA boot camp. Jeanine's about to graduate. Bridge is flying through it. She's more than halfway through. I'm dragging my heels. I got to get going. I finally have one module in a week, so that's something. But the point is, we're in TIA, and TIA stands for Trust Your Abundance. And I've been thinking about how LOA today it's law of attraction, and it's almost a limiting topic. Like, people come onto this show and they think, oh, we got to talk about the law of attraction today. Mm-hmm. Which is not my intention at all. My intention is to lift people's vibes and talk about life. And yeah, law of attraction is part of it, but it doesn't have to be the main topic every single day. So I was thinking, well, maybe I should get a new domain name. Maybe I should pick rename the show or something like that. And so I kind of sat with it for a bit. I didn't really like that idea a whole lot. I played with a few ideas. Nothing really came. And went away from it. And of course, as soon as I took my mind off it, I got an idea. Well, what about renaming LOA? So I thought about taking that word abundance from Trust Your Abundance. Okay, there's the A of LOA. How about like living our abundance or life of abundance or something like that?
I like that.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, I don't know which one. Maybe I'll go with both of them, but I figured that's kind of a nice way to kind of stretch the whole topic out to incorporate life, because that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about the abundant life, right?
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, well, I don't get any kind of I don't have any limiting beliefs around that myself. So
No, I know you don't. I can tell that from your contributions here on the show.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what happens when people come onto the show. They feel like, oh, we got to talk about law of attraction.
Okay. You think that's what's going on, huh? I don't know. I don't think I see it, because some of your co-hosts and some of everybody's, it's such a wide net. Everybody's kind of.
It's true.
It's
so good.
Personal.
That means I made some progress. That's good. I like that. I just want to extend it some more.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get it.
Because the more that we can turn about life, abundance is a great word. When I realized LOA had an A in it, I said, ooh, this is good. I like
this. Jumped right out at you.
Yeah. Grab that one. So, yeah.
It's funny because you're talking about abundance, and I'm like, I think I have so much stuff around me that it literally, while you were talking about abundance, is falling on top of me. Like, I'm having to move things out of the way. And I'm like, there's a fine line between abundance and hoarding. I'm kind of walking that line. But anyway, I got a big pillow that fell on top of me while you were talking. So,
but what a nice problem to have, though.
Yeah, right?
Right?
More stuff. Right.
More stuff. I'd rather have more experiences than stuff.
Well, me too.
So,
me too.
I'm
well,
actually
you just set the attention.
Yeah, well, there you go. Because I'm actually a reformed hoarder.
Oh, really?
I've actually well, not hoarder in the sense that like I would be on that TV show. I mean,
right.
I'm like
I'm glad to hear that.
A mini hoarder.
I'm like baby hoarder.
Baby hoarder.
There's no real hoarding going on. I like to get into things, and then when I realize, like, I'll start collecting things, I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. This is too much work. Like, I was really into orchids a couple of years ago, and then during pandemic, I was just faced with all I was doing is watering orchids all day long. That's all I was doing. I'm like, okay,
wow.
I'm done. That's it.
See, I like to declutter. I'm like the opposite. Mm-hmm. I like to declutter. So yeah, I don't have that problem.
No, I go through the same thing. Like, I'm down from like 100 orchids to maybe like 25, and that's like manageable. But I just sold off and gave away like most of the collection. But I'm the same way. It's like you get to a certain point, it's like clear out.
Yeah, and then it feels so good.
Yeah, that space is what we want, right? That space.
It's freedom.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
And the really great thing about abundance too is once you understand how to bring abundance into your life, well, you don't have to hang on to it. If you're done with that particular abundance, okay, pass that one along and grab some more. Mm-hmm. Just keep bringing in the stuff that you want. So that to me is the great freedom of it. You can actually be both. You can be the clutterer and the declutterer all in one.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like a constant rolling cycle because that's exactly what happens. You know, it's like, ooh, I'm into doing this, and then I collect it, and then it's, oh, okay, I have too much, and then I start, you know, it's like, you know, just start getting it out. So it's constant.
That's good though. You have like multiple hobbies. It sounds like.
Yeah, I do.
That's good.
I
Orchids
like
are more than a hobby. That's a heck of a hobby. Orchids, they take some attention.
I wouldn't know. I kill flowers by accident.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
they're like spoiled brats, and especially here in the desert where everything is just so bone dry. I built a box, like I built a humidifier, and where I have and that's what the beeping you hear sometimes, and that's what I went to go and plug. But it's like so I have it set up where there's a humidifier, it controls the humidity, and so I throw in all my like really water loving orchids in there. But I like to, it's like pets. I don't want to be a cat. Or I had like 6 cats at one time. I'm like, wow. I'm like almost a crazy cat lady. So I'm just.
2 cats is enough for us. They keep us plenty busy. I can't imagine 6. We actually did 4 for about a, I don't know, 4-month period. And that was insane. That was just insane. 6, I mean, I think I'd probably shoot myself. No, not really, but you get the drift. I mean, I just can't imagine taking care of 6 cats. That's a lot of work.
It is. And so we look at abundance. It's like, what does abundance look like? 6 cats? That looks like, that's hell for me.
Well, it's an abundance of cats.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
thank goodness we get to decide. We get to choose what our abundance is going to be.
Yeah, right. It's all relative.
Well, here you get to take care of 6 cats for your lifetime. Have fun. It's not the way it works.
Oh no, I know. Oh, it's crazy. It's great. People think that like you'll be happy if they have 6 cars. It's like, you know how much work it takes to take care of 6 cars or big houses, or, you know, it's like, no, nah, that's it. I like my abundance and experience and with love and with friendships, and that's where I try to focus.
I definitely approve and love that one. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. That's what, among other things, led me to do the show, because I knew I was going to establish the kinds of connections, friends, that I wanted to have, and that pretty much fit into the category you just described, where that's where the abundance is.
Oh yeah. And this is such a great way to do it too. You're right.
And you've had an abundant amount of guests on as well recently.
Especially lately.
It's just flowing to you. Yeah. It's just all flowing to you.
And that is the word, flowing, because I haven't done anything to get them. I mean, I barely even put out the attention. The attention was out there. Okay, it'd be great to have some guests. Boom. Here they are.
Yeah, it's even cooler.
That is cooler. I love it. I mean, literally, I mentioned the other day, the only thing that I've done lately, and by lately, I mean within the last 6 months, to get guests on the show, is I got a Calendly account so that people could sign up to be on the show. That was it. That was my entire contribution to getting guests on the show. And then, oh my goodness, they're coming out of the woodwork.
Oh, yeah.
That's so super cool. So maybe the name change is kind of appropriate if that's what you're feeling.
Or at least an expansion of the name. I mean, we don't have to abandon the law of attraction. Not like
That'd be
talk
kind of
about.
sad.
Well, we're going to talk about abundance, but you can't use the law of attraction. I mean, that doesn't really sell. It doesn't work.
Lots of abundance. Lots of abundance.
Kind of like saying you're going to start your business, but you can't use the law of gravity. It's like, no, it doesn't quite work. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking just an expansion. I'm thinking LOA can stand for a lot of different things. So let's take advantage of that and just, see what what grabs people. Like, I mean, the 2 phrases I came up with, do either of them resonate more with you guys? Living our abundance or life of abundance?
I like life of abundance, I think.
Life of abundance? Okay.
Life of abundance, living our abundance. I'm easy. I like it. It's all good. I like all of it. I like law of attraction, living our abundance, lots of abundance.
Ooh, I like that. That's good. Lots of abundance. That's really nice. Okay, we got another contender. This is good.
Yeah. It's like,
we could probably come up with like 20.
Exactly. Like 20 different things. It's all cool.
Now, that's just based on abundance. What if we come up with another A? I mean, it could get crazy.
Law of averages. I mean, we can keep going.
It's funny. I was having an email exchange with a guy who reached out to me based on what I'll call my previous life. before I really got into doing this podcast and learning how to create my abundant life and so forth. I was very much involved in politics and political discussion. And I have a website that I've had for years. I created in the mid 2000s and getting ready to shut it down. I'm done with it. I don't really need it anymore. But the guy reached out to me because he liked what I've written. And so we've been having this exchange, and I've been kind of like, do I really want to do this? Because I really don't want to get into politics anymore. But on the other hand, he brought up some interesting stuff, so I was addressing it with him. And let's see, why was I bringing this in? I was tying it into something we just said.
Are you going to sell it? Can you sell it to him?
I don't really want to sell it. I mean, if he wants to take it over, I'll let him have it, but it's not that important to me to sell it.
Not that important.
No. Oh, well, we were talking about something in that email exchange that touches on what we just said. What did we just say? We were talking about different forms of LOA, names.
Different forms, names, and things change, and
yeah, and the different variations of LOA, the life of abundance and so forth. I can't remember what the connection was. Well, there was a connection there, trust me.
Okay, so
it'll come back.
I don't remember what it was. It was a good one though. But that's all right.
But what else? What you said? But he reached out because he liked what you said, and
yeah. Well, we were talking about a variety of things, and he was basically making a number of assumptions, political assumptions, and I can't buy into them anymore. They just don't work for me. So I'm trying not to shoot him down, but I'm also saying, I'm sorry, that doesn't really work, and here's why, and so forth. I know one of the things he brought up was the concept of tabula rasa, the idea that when we come into this life, we're a blank slate. And basically our parents and our adult influencers and so forth write on our slate and help make us into the human beings we are. They raise us. I always hated that word. It's like, what does the parent do? Does he reach down and stretch the kid up to full height? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I was talking with him about that because he was trying to make a whole case based on this idea of tabula rasa. And I was saying, that's a really, really old idea. It dates back to Aristotle, and there's really no foundation for it. I mean, no one's ever been able to demonstrate that we actually come into this life as a blank slate. In fact, the evidence shows just the opposite. And so I'm laying that out for him. And he's being a polite fan. Like, he definitely doesn't agree with it. And he's trying to tell me how, no, you got it all wrong. But he also doesn't want to end the conversation because he knows I made it clear I'm not interested in this stuff anymore. This is not a big deal for me. I'm happy to end this conversation at any moment. And I guess that's what I was probably thinking of. There's a delicate balance here. When you're talking about anything related to an abundance in life, in this case, it's an abundance of a conversational point that I really don't want to have a whole lot of. I'm almost kind of like being nice to him, like, thank you for reaching out, and here's a little exchange because you're looking for that, but I'm pretty much done. You got to be kind of careful about what it is that you're attracting. I guess that's the point. You got to really be paying attention. Do I really want an abundance of what I'm getting with this guy? Honestly, not really.
That's like when your past comes back and kind of haunts you in a way that's sort of that like, that's kind of something that you put out there when you were in a different place and it's still attracting. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That's not me anymore. That's like, how do I kind of break away from that? And I think about that when, like on Facebook, when it pops up, 5 years ago, you posted this. I'm like, oh, I posted that. Yes. That's so not me now. Or, when the Trump presidency, oh my gosh, that first year I was batty. And then after that year, it was just like, okay, I can't fight this. I have to somehow, and that's really kind of helped me get on this whole more spiritual path.
That's one of the wisest things you could have done is to just say, okay, I'm leaving that one. It's just not serving me at all.
Right. I mean, we did some marches and some, some protesting and this and that. I'm like, wait a minute. I just saw early on, this is not going to take us anywhere, no matter how we feel.
Well, it will take you somewhere, just not necessarily anywhere you want to go.
Right. Anywhere we're really going to be. I knew I wasn't going to be happy. I just knew it, but that energy just was not where I wanted to stay.
Right.
And in the political world, that just seems like if you want to play in with that energy is just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like
I believe it's the word you're reaching
yeah.
for.
That's it.
I studied politics in school. I was a political science major.
Okay.
And so I can tell you, years of experience later, you're absolutely right. There is nothing really nice about politics at all. There's nothing to really like. There's nothing to really appeal to. It's just, basically it's an opportunity to feel fear, do a lot of blaming, point a lot of fingers, and convince yourself that you're feeling better if you do that. That's really what it amounts to. I don't care what your political view is.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, just make sure you know what you're getting into. Because I sure didn't realize for the longest time. It took me a long time to recognize what I was doing to myself. A long time. I mean, I had to knock myself way, way down before I finally even entertained the connection between what I was giving my attention to and what was happening.
Now with Taya, it's probably a million times different.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
What used to take me 10 years now takes a minute. I mean, it's
right.
just,
yeah,
it's night and day, no doubt about it. And it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jeanine, if you don't mind me asking you, like earlier when you were DTS, what did you try to go up your spiral, or were you like, okay, I'm going to chill on this for a second?
Yeah. No, that was just it. I really felt this morning like, or actually even yesterday, like I was pre-Taya, just very, I'm in this funk and I'm not trying to get my way out of it. I did try to do a little bit of the breathing, but I think, there's a reason why I'm here, and I'm just going to be okay with that. Sorry.
That's all right. Life happens.
And so, that's his, I think that's, I was thinking the other day, honestly, I was thinking, I wonder, can I really ever forget Taya? Can I really ever let that, can I really experience, can I really go back? And I woke up and I'm like, oh, I feel like I did before Taya, like way before Taya. And I'm like, okay, there's my answer. Stop asking myself these questions, because it happens like over and over again. I put it out there and it comes back. And I'm afraid to think anymore. We
are world champion doubters. Let's be honest. Right?
That sounds wrong. I'm afraid to think anymore. No, that's not what I mean.
No, I totally know what you mean, though.
There is truth to that, though. There is truth to that.
Because once you know what you can attract, you're like, oh God, let me make sure I'm attracting what I want. Like we said earlier.
I mean, there's a reason why in meditation, we want to clear our minds. It's to stop that train. To stop that train, that we don't like where that train is going.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, there's a little bit of trust right now. Like, it's okay that I'm here, because I know that I won't be here forever, and it's not going to be a long, drawn out thing. It's just, it's not 12 feet under. It's just, neutral. It's just a little negative. It's not, it's stepping in a puddle. It's not a car wreck. So it's manageable. I can do this, and it's giving me some clarity. It's giving me
how so?
Well, I can't really go I won't go into it extensively here, but I'll just say probably some of my, some of the habits that I have aren't serving me, and I need to change them.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's like, I need to sort of take a little bit better care of myself and work a little bit more towards my goal, as opposed to just trying to operate from fear mode, which is what I've been doing lately, feeling stuck mode. So it's.
Well, what you're describing is, we talk about entire, but I'm going to talk about it for a moment from the Abraham Hicks viewpoint. What you're talking about is step one. That's delving into the contrast to identify what it is that you don't want.
Right.
Because once you've identified what you don't want, now it becomes so much easier for you to identify what it is that you do want.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of convoluted, because I love some of my habits. I really enjoy them. I mean, part of it is I go out. I love being in the garden. I love to garden all afternoon but I'm not getting like my career done and focusing. And so it's just, I'm kind of got some avoidance techniques going on that have honed very well. And so we're constant work on ourselves. I think we're just constantly in under construction. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly under construction. And sometimes we trip over scaffolding or it doesn't look really good and sometimes, we just have to, I'm just queen of the weird analogies right now. So you just go with it.
Oh, we love
them. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of change. What do I really want in life? How hard do I want to work at this? I'm sort of at a fork in my road and I just don't know which direction I want to go. And, I'm not ready to retire yet. I really have a lot of more energy and I want to focus on maybe starting a new career path or one of the careers that I've been on that I haven't really been lucrative. I'd like to kind of move forward, even if there is no money involved. Mm. So, specifically I'd like to work with people at the very end of their lives, not just in a caregiving role. So there's a lot of change. There's a lot of old feelings that are coming up that I'm kind of that I am detuning. So I am doing work. It just doesn't look clean. It just doesn't look like it's I don't know. Have you ever made cookies or pies and there's flour everywhere and there's little pieces of dough everywhere. There's stuff that falls on the floor and it doesn't mean that you're not getting anything done, but there's some fallout going on.
Jeffrey posted something in the chat that I think, first of all, it takes the acronym LOA and gives it another meaning. And second of all, addresses what you're talking about. Love of awareness. That's really what you're describing.
I love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. Thank you. Go ahead.
I was also going to say, we got a couple of boot campers in the live stream too. One of them is Joe Slaker. Oh. Hi there, Joe. How you doing? The other
Joe.
one, I'm not sure who it is. Whoever it is, has not identified through Facebook who they are, so it could be anybody, but they're saying, I feel like our tire check just started in early today. So.
Oh man, usually I'm more up I'm happier usually when I do this, but I know that once I'm on the podcast, it's really it's like little arm floaties, you get in the pool and you're floating. That's what this show does for me. It just brings me right back up.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah. I know. I knew I would feel that way too. Earlier I was a little down and I had to work at it. And then I was like, well, at least at 4, I know I'll have a good hour that hour. So
that's it.
That's worked for me.
Yeah. And I've gotten over my fear of looking stupid because I will tell you that's been one of my little transgressors, just fear of looking stupid, fear of sounding dumb, and I'm like, oh, forget it. I mean, come on, man.
Mine was articulation too. One of mine's articulation. Yeah.
One of the best things that doing a podcast does for you. It helps you get past that because you have to get past that really, really fast. No choice in the matter.
Well, and you know what else helped me too with that, Walt, was all of your guests because the guests did a lot of the talking. I just sat here, got used to being on film and being, saying, and so that was nice. It was like sort of a slower, getting my feet in it,
you got eased into it, so to speak.
It got eased into it. And that was nice. And so the fear of public speaking, it's like,
for me, it's even weirder over the computer because I'm used to talking to people in person. So for me, it's just weird to be doing this and the Zooms with Ty and all that. I wasn't used to any of that. You know what I mean?
Actually, that was a step forward for me to do it on the computer because it used to be back when I first started, we didn't have any of this technology to work with. So I was doing it with phone calls and I was recording phone calls.
Yikes.
Okay.
That was the only way to do it at that point.
Yeah,
so
that
doing
would be even crazier.
Doing it on computer with videos this is a dream come true. Because it's easier recording a phone call,
Yeah.
I think I had two Zoom calls the entire, during the first year of COVID. Really, just 2.
Mm-hmm.
I had no experience. Everyone's like, oh, everyone should be used to Zoom already. It's like, no.
Same.
No,
Yeah, I only did it twice and it was
no.
with my family. I had no clue until I got on this and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You're looking good and showing off all your smarts. That's what you're doing.
Ah, that's awesome. That's great. I love it. It's a really good, warm feeling to be on here because you know that the people who are listening are like us. They, and if they're not, you move on, right? If something doesn't interest you and you listen to it, you move on.
So that's why you can count on the audience is going to be thinking like we are.
Right.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
Or, and it's not even, it's just more accepting. I just accept myself and sometimes I'm goofy and sometimes I say goofy things and sometimes I don't have the energy. Sometimes I do have the energy. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we love you.
Oh, Bridge.
You do.
So nice. Like a cuddle bear.
I feel like I can feel it from over here. I can.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
I love it.
I want to go back to something you were talking about a moment ago because I think it's really poignant. Because I'm going to rephrase it my way. It's not the way you said it, but essentially you were talking about it. You're kind of okay with not being up the spiral.
Yeah.
You're okay with just kind of being in that space, and that's literally something that was addressed in the module I just finished. I just finished 13. That you can kind of just fall into. Well, I'm okay with being here, and then part of the challenge is noticing and making sure, are you really sure you want to stay there?
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, okay, that's your choice. If you don't, you know what the tools are to climb out so you can climb out.
Right.
And there's a great freedom in that. That's really what I wanted to touch on. Because yes, you can choose to stay there. And let's be honest, that's why we came into this life, to experience this polarity, this contrast. So you're doing exactly what you came into this life to do.
Yes. And you're right. I kind of am choosing to be here at this moment because I know that I have the tools to move on if I want.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's okay because it's no longer this out of my control. I have the control. It's just that there's something here for me and I'm not quite sure fully what it is. So I'm kind of diving into it a little bit. And it's weird. It's like being in a bowl of jelly. It's like you can feel it against your skin and but you know that somewhere in here is that diamond. And I'm just taking the time that I need to do it. And I'm not going to beat up on myself. Mm-hmm. I feel that it doesn't feel 100%. It doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel the best, but I am just coming out of being sick.
You had a cold last week, I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
I lost my voice for like 3 days.
Wow.
And you were pumping through everything. You were at the meetings, you were here.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. So there's that. I mean, so on a physical level, it's of course it's natural that my energy's not fully up. But there's also some realizations that some things that I've really loved to do in the past are no longer where I want to put my energy to. Like the taking care of the elderly. I love taking care of the elderly. I love it. That's not ultimately where I want to move into. I want to kind of move past that. And so I feel the shift. I mean, physically, I feel the shift. Emotionally, I kind of feel the shift. And
do you know where you want to go?
I know in the direction. I just don't know how that looks.
Oh, okay. So you still have to, basically you have to imagine and invent it for yourself. You haven't gotten there.
Right. So it's kind of like playing with the universe, trusting that it's going to be something that is going to look more like what I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good though. That's the beauty of this whole entire practice. It's not, when we go through most of our lives, we feel like we're victims. We're just tied down to whatever the fates have in store for us. And then we come along and we start learning about law of attraction and in our case also the Taya approach and so forth. And we begin to realize we're in total control. And now that we've been given our driver's license, so to speak, we've been given the ability to actually decide and choose, okay, where am I going to give my attention? What result am I going to get out of it? All that kind of thing. It has an entirely different feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
The feel used to be being trapped. The feeling now is possibilities.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I can tell you that there's people who work in the sewers who love their jobs. So
Absolutely.
it's okay to, it's really okay to be okay with where you're at and not feel like everyone, all of us. I mean, if you live 5 minutes on this earth, you know that now is not going to be the same as in 5 minutes. It's not going to be the same as in 10 minutes or an hour or a day so it's okay to, if you want to feel your downtimes, feel them, but just really feel them. Like figure out why do I want to feel this? Why am I here? What's it pointing me to? Where am I going to go? It's not scary anymore.
Good choice of words. I like that. It's not scary anymore.
That's it.
That's
it doesn't feel
deal.
great, but it's not scary. And, we do a lot of things that don't always feel great, but
the steering wheel's right there. You can take that wheel anytime you're ready.
Well, it's weird because I feel like I'm steering and even in the middle of it, even though I'm not always doing the tools, I still feel like I'm in control.
To use Jeffrey's phrase here, do you feel like you're enjoying the journey along the way?
Yeah, enjoying. That's interesting. It's enjoying. Okay, no, maybe not.
You're still in the trying to figure it out phase, right?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Can I find joy along the way? Sure. I think that I'm not giving myself enough space for coming out of where I've been this week because it's just this, I even got COVID tested, no COVID. It's just a really bad cold or just another virus. There's a lot of viruses out there, right? And It just drained me. It just wiped me out. So, and, I just yesterday got back to work. I had to take a whole week off of work because I was sick. I mean, I don't even know what the ethics are anymore of working with other people when you're sick since COVID. It's like, it used to be you go into work sick. Now it's, and especially working with elderly, you don't go in sick, right? So I had to not work for a whole week. And so that kind of upset the apple cart too. So it's just, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment to acknowledge our friend Donna because she dropped in.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Love Donna.
Glad
this is awesome.
And
I love all these peeps with us.
Right? Yeah, it's cool. And Jeffrey asked an interesting question. He says, what makes you feel joy?
Oh, gosh. It's like moment by moment. I mean, what makes me feel joy is being with my elderly people and doing that kind of work, working with people who are passing away. What can make me have joy is playing hide and, peekaboo with the baby when you're in line waiting at the grocery store.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that could be, it's interesting. Some of the realizations I've just come to within the last couple of days. And one of them being is, excuse me, I'm losing my voice again, is that, I am an elderly magnet. I'm a magnet I have elderly people that wander onto my driveway.
Wow.
They come to me in the grocery store. There's the energies. I'm serious,
so cool.
man.
No, I can so see that.
I just got a call, yesterday or the other day from a man who I gave my card to a year ago in the middle of COVID in the grocery store. He just said, I got your card from you in the grocery store and I'm ready for help. And it's like help is needing, the need is coming to me.
Yeah.
That's what the want is coming to me. Like I don't have to go out.
Right.
It's coming to me. And it's something I've never experienced. There's so much need for help out there. And it's for the first time, I feel like what Jeffrey said, do I feel like I'm finding joy? The joy is to see how easy it is that it's all coming to me. And it's not all what I want to do. But it's, I told you a couple weeks ago how I put it out there that I wanted, I don't know if I said this, but I wanted somebody to call me out of the blue wanting my services, not from a reference. I just wanted an odd call. And I did. That day I got a call from someone saying, they were misdialing a number for service for an elderly care service.
Yeah.
And they kept calling me. And so I called her
Yep.
back. It didn't work out, but it's like, that's kind of cool when they
still,
call you
yeah.
up.
Well, plus
fine.
you just described how it didn't stop there. You've had one after another finding you in a variety of different ways, which is what the universe does. It just keeps sending stuff to you and say, is this the one you want? Is this the one you want? Is this the one you want? Until you finally say, yes, that's the one.
Absolutely. Or, you know, this elderly gentleman comes up to me in the grocery store and just starts talking to me. It's like, there's my joy, Jeffrey. There's my joy right there.
I think we can see it all over your face too. Like, you don't hide it very well.
I know, right?
You know what the best part about this is? The best part is that when we started the show, before we started, Jeanine said, I hope you guys are ready to talk. I really don't have anything to say today.
I know.
Yeah, and look, you can't shut me up. I'm sorry, Bridge. Please.
No, I'm glad.
You jump in. I want to hear you.
No, I love when you
I
talk.
want to hear you.
That's why
I
I
wanna
ask
hear
you
you guys.
questions.
Actually, I want to ask you a question, Bridge, because
Go for it.
you told us before, I can't remember if it was during the show or before the show, you mentioned that you are in module 10, which is like putting me to shame. Like, holy crap.
No comparison. No comparison.
No,
I have a lot more time than you do.
I'm saying that as a tease, but seriously, it's impressive that you're doing so well with that. And I'm curious to know what are you seeing in yourself in terms of what's shifting, what's changing? Are you noticing stuff happening?
Yeah, well, like we said last week, the main thing I see is I can't sit in any type of, I know like earlier I asked Jeanine if she was just sitting in it for a moment to see like why she needed to be there and whatnot. I'll do that for a minute, but I quickly can tell if I need to get out of that. So I'll just, like I told you today, I had to do things, you know, I had to like work harder at it. You know what I mean? There's just things that I had to, like, thank God the sun was out today. So I went outside. I went on my walk this morning. I did my workout. Like I did everything I had to do, but I had to have a little more intent behind it, behind even the littlest things I did, my shower, you know what I mean? Like just to pump my spirits more higher up. Cause some days, yeah, you just wake up and you're more, you know, DTS than others and stuff. So I'm like, I'll be okay with it because I don't want to be hard on myself. But yeah, I quickly just try to go back up my spiral.
I'm curious also because I think Jeanine probably experienced this too. I know that within the first few modules, I was noticing myself having more up the spiral, UTS moments just kind of happening than used to happen in the past. Are you experiencing that too?
I don't know because I always feel like now I'm trying to put more intention into everything. So I don't know if it's because I'm paying more attention and putting more intention into it.
Okay.
But I guess that's also time, right? So
well, yeah, I mean that's really what we're learning to do.
Yeah,
we're learning to be more present now.
Yes.
You know, what's my mood? How am I feeling? Where am I going?
Yeah.
You know, how do I want to respond to it? That's intentionality in the nth degree.
Yeah.
You're living it moment by moment. So yeah, absolutely. I'd say that qualifies.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, the cool part is when you feel it though, when you feel it as that big up the spiral. That's what I'm loving. I'm loving waking up and there's a piece of me that's looking for that down the spiral moment. And I'm saying, you know, actually I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, and this being said, Bridge and Walt, the intentionality is if I have the tools and choose not to use them, that's an intention, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so
you're doing it consciously. Sure.
That's you know, I mean, it's just, I'm okay with experiencing this, but I fully get where you're coming from, Bridge. It's like some days I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to, you know, there's.
And other days I'll do what you did. You know what I mean? I'll be like, no, there's a reason I'm here. And then I'll either like wait a while and then journal, or I'll just go right to journaling to see like, okay, well, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, cause I want to figure out why I'm there. Cause I do, there's a reason, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It depends how much.
I just realized I wanted to do a little promo here before I forget about it, because first of all, we got a number of Thai people in the live stream, which is cool. And we have a number of people listening to the podcast recording as well.
That's
tomorrow, David's
cool.
going to be on the show tomorrow. David's going to come in. We're going to have him do a little streaming. You know, we'll have a little fun with that. So I guess I'm mentioning it for two reasons. If you're already in
That's
Taya
awesome.
and you're listening and you know somebody who might be, interested in benefiting from asking David a question in his guise of, channeling the stream, take advantage. Have them connect with us, have them listen to the live stream or send in a question and, we'll include it in the podcast because that's really part of the fun, right? Is having that conversation with the stream, getting the insights. I mean, we don't actually do a lot of that in Taya Boot Camp. Most of it is us working on ourselves. But those connections when we're, the initial income, the intake connection where the stream helps us identify our transgressors. And even the other incidents where, they have the summit over the past weekend, they had this big summit. And any time that David is streaming, is channeling the stream, it's cool because you get some really interesting insights coming from the stream through his mouth. So, yeah.
I
Just
missed
wanted to make sure
it.
everybody knew about that.
I had to miss it because my husband came back from a business trip and so I can't go. I picked him up from the airport. It's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a week. I'm going to be, I just couldn't, I'm going to go in my room for an hour or for a whole day and forget. It's like, no, I want to spend time with my husband, but I'm going to try to make the live one in LA in January. I've already got that. Like I can drive there in 6 hours. So as soon as that comes out, man, I'm buying the ticket.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
And you don't even have to wait because you can connect tomorrow. That's part of the point of the promos to let people know you can.
Well, that's
you don't have to
it.
wait.
That's right, folks. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
You don't even have to buy a ticket. How cool is that?
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
God, I just love it, man. I just love listening to the David channel. It's so super cool.
Yes.
I love just talking with him too. I mean, we talked to him in boot camp and he has a role to play there. He's leading the whole thing and so forth. But when I get him on the show, it's an entirely different kind of conversation. He's much more relaxed and, able to just open up to whatever it is he's feeling and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So
I think it's super cool that we have a lot of Taya people on here too. And
I know.
I'm loving that. I'm really loving that. Yeah.
And we like all you not Taya people either too. Also.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more of them.
There's all of you guys. We like all of you. I just love this show. The LOA today, whatever that acronym's going to stand for. Whatever.
Well, it's going to shift by the minute. Some days it's going to be law of attraction. Some days it's going to be life of abundance. Some days it's going to be lots of abundance.
I love it. This is a good place to be. Always
Sometimes
raises
it's
my
going to
vibes.
be love of abundance. That was Jeffrey's idea. I like that one.
Love of abundance.
I know. I love them all.
Maybe we just
They
rotate.
change every day. I mean, like you said, we change all the time. So hey,
there it is. Love of all.
Love of
LOA.
all. Ooh,
there you go.
There's a good one.
That was really good. That was good.
Bridge, you did that. You did that.
did?
That was yours. Yes, you did. That was you. Yeah, that was not me.
Giving credit where credit is
I thought
due.
that was wrong. But yeah, we can make that a lot of things.
That's it. So yeah.
And Jeffrey is expressing an opinion from somebody outside the Taya program. He says, I love watching you all go through the Taya program. So, it could work that way too.
Yeah.
I would love to know more about Jeffrey.
Jeffrey is an amazing guy.
Tell us about yourself, Jeffrey.
We actually had him on for a program one time. He did a show with us.
Did you?
I didn't know that.
It was a few months back. Yeah. I don't remember exactly when it was, but yep, he came on for a bit and talked about his life and what he's dealing with and all that. And he's really quite an interesting person to listen to. I put it this way, Jeffrey, if you ever decide you want to be a co-host, just reach out. We'll find you a spot.
Yeah. Well, it's like, we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. No problem.
That's what we did.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You guys
Cheers
kind of helped.
to that.
You kind of helped. Well, actually, it was Amy Blackford actually it was Louis D'Souza who broke through and basically established the precedent of a listener becoming a co-host. And then Amy became the second one. And then you two and Anne-Marie on Monday.
Yeah.
So it's kind of expanded since then, which is cool, which is very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, let's keep the trend going. I think it's really the most interesting way to build a show. I mean, I love bringing in the guests. I love the fact that they're reaching out and booking time and so forth. But it's also cool when the guests come from within.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
We bring our own things to the table.
Especially from my point of view, because remember, my point of view is I started doing this podcast. Yes, I had some people to do the show with me, but most of the time I didn't know what was going on in the minds of the listeners.
Yeah.
I hoped they liked it. Every once in a while I'd get an email. Ooh, they like that show. Good. Yeah, all right. But to find out that the audience that has accumulated around us is this really advanced people working on themselves, people developing themselves, learning to build their abilities to create the abundant lives that they're looking for. And that floors me. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. So yeah, thank you to all of you. You just made my
Thank you.
life.
You built it.
Yeah.
You made it
for a long time. It's got to feel good to have that kind of feedback, that support since you've been doing this for so long.
It is. It's huge. It's huge. And it makes it easier to keep going. I mean, yes, of course. I mean, like we were talking today, leading into the show, maybe the energy level wasn't all that great. We start doing the show, boom, the energy goes up. So there's an example of it. That happens every single time. And that helps keep you going time after time after time. That creates 1,500 episodes. But you also want to have, how do you describe it? The longer term sense of accomplishment. Is that the way to say it?
Yeah.
The feeling like this is making a big difference in my own life and in the lives of other people, just to have a show on this topic. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Made a huge difference in my life. I know that.
Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you. I mean, that's
kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like what you do from my perspective. I mean, you do it in a different form. You do it with people who are reaching end of life. And it's a different subject in a sense. But really, you're making a difference in a long-term way for people.
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing it in a way that, I mean, it actually wouldn't fit me. That doesn't work for me. Although you're not the first person who's been on the show to do that. Patty Framo, who's a life coach and also does palliative care as her main career, came on and did that, talked about that for the longest time. So, and I admire people like you who do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal.
I think really part of what I'm going through right now is the realization, that I have this desire to get bigger, and because as I am right now, being one person, I work with one person or two people. I might have a couple of different clients at the same time, but I mean, I want to work in a way where I can help more than one person at a time, and I just don't know how that's going to look. So
I totally vibrate to that. That's why I do the show. I tried being a coach. I tried being a life coach, and it lasted 4 weeks. That's all I could do.
When was that?
Oh, geez. That was 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. Yeah. But it just didn't work for me. And I think that's part of the reason, what you just said, Jeanine. It was just one person at a time. I wanted to have an impact on a larger audience.
Even if it's opening up a facility or opening up something where I have, where I'm working with, because my energy is there. And what I do with my energy, I don't want to take over everything, but what I do with my energy is I when I work with people, I raise my vibration to a certain point or even higher. And when it's like a matter of comfort, they feel safe with me. They feel comfortable with me, and they feel more comfortable to let go. And so that's part of that same energy that draws people when I go to the grocery store or when I'm out in my front yard and they're walking by into my house.
I love that.
When they come up my driveway, hey
guys.
So it's that same energy. And there's an ego part of it too, because I would like to maybe make more money.
Sure.
I would like to be in a position where I could have a business and actually make, business and make more money from it. But, so it's I don't know thank you guys, because I feel so much happier than I was before I started.
Oh,
I feel
good.
like, okay, now I'm ready to do my tide tools. Now I'm ready refocus and get back out there. And so.
Well, plus you just actually, in the course of approximately 20 minutes, did what I wanted us to do more of here on the show. I wanted this show to be more about life, about, the abundance that we're attracting into our lives and so forth, not just limited to the topic of law of attraction. What'd you do? Earlier on, you talked about how you wanted to do something more, you wanted to go deeper than just strictly being a doula, but you weren't quite sure what. It was sort of amorphous. And since then, you've been kind of feeling it out live here on the show. I kind of wanted to have a larger audience. You're laying out these things. You're creating, you're imagining as you go along.
Thank you. Well, it's the doula that I want.
That's exactly what I wanted. You're doing what I wanted for the show. This is great.
Well, thank you. This is awesome. I'm glad I'm what do they call it? A co-creator in this experience.
Absolutely,
yes.
you are.
But just to put the record straight, it's the senior caregiving that I sort of want to back off from and do more of the doula.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
But I mean, just to let you know, but yeah, I'm glad I'm able to, that I'm like part of this co-creation with you. But I think I already told you that I got this call from, I reached out to the lady online and she gave me the name of this hospice, and I got in contact. So that's all going. Mm-hmm. That ball's rolling. It is rolling. It's just, I want it now, and I want it to look like this, and I want it, and so it's just thank you for letting me work this out, because I needed to work this out. And this is a perfect venue. Thank you.
That's
it's
awesome.
A little personal, but not too personal.
We got a question from the live stream. It's a good one. I'm not sure if we can do it justice in 8 minutes, but we're going to give it a shot. This is from Joby. He says, can you help me understand the difference between the law of attraction and Taya? You guys want to take a shot?
Yeah.
Jeanine, your longest time.
But what are you? Taya is the framework. Taya is the framework for us to floor abundance through, like, in a way, like the structure. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it. It's the structure of, excuse me, everything comes from us, but Taya is go ahead, guys. You jump in, please.
Okay, let me take a shot at
stop.
this. So the law of attraction is essentially, I'm going to use the Abraham Hicks definition. Everything that how's it work? Oh, now I've forgotten their definition. Okay, skip that one. Everything that is like unto itself is drawn. That's the Abraham Hicks definition. So anytime that you focus on anything, no matter what it is, wanted, unwanted, doesn't make any difference. You are setting the stage to attract it into your life. And the more attention you give to it, the more feeling you give to it, the more you actually make it real in your imagination, the faster you bring it to yourself. So that's the basic concept of the law of attraction. Taya stands for trust your abundance. Taya is, in a sense, it's an advanced way of learning how to bring your mastery of the law of attraction into greater focus. And the reason that it is effective in this way is that it teaches us how to get those resistances and blocks out of the way that we find stops us from getting what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's a good way of saying it.
To apply it. Yeah.
That's a good way.
So they really work hand in hand. It's not like they're different. It's just one, I guess you might say that Taya is the more advanced understanding of how the law of attraction works.
Yeah.
Right. In the tools and the framework, it's the tools and the framework to help us make it work easier. But I like that, because it's really not about, Taya is not really about LOA, is it? It's not really about.
Not strictly speaking.
Right.
I mean, David used to actually make it all about law of attraction, but he realized it's broader than that. Mm-hmm. And it's broader than that mainly because of what the preconceptions are that people have about what law of attraction is. Because what he's really teaching us to do is to make that internal connection, that connection to source that we all have, that he has in abundance, and he's trying to help us develop it more and more.
And the awareness of the blocks that we might have to prevent it from happening, or from slowing it down, to keep it from, to allow us to experience it fully. Mm-hmm. Because we can detune our blocks, the things that have kept us from what we want.
And to be clear, Taya is only one implementation. There are lots of different advanced implementations. Most of the life coaches who have been co-hosts on the show have their own unique ways of helping people to remove blocks, achieve abundances, and so forth. And they all specialize in different areas. Cindy Chavez, she's an expert at relationships. Jackie Gates, who also does the Wednesday show, she is an expert in relationships, but she also is an expert at helping people to act as if, because she has that acting background. And she actually coaches her clients to learn how to act as if to get what they were wanting out of their lives.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. And it's great. Yeah. It's a wonderful approach. Joel Elston, his whole approach is understand that the traumas that you went through actually make you strong and make you able to attract the kinds of life that you really want. And you really are in control. So lots of different approaches to how to actually get there, so to speak. Yeah. Thai is just one of them. It's just a very good one. So.
And you would know it, Walt, with all the guests that you've had going through. I mean, it's so hard.
We got a really great one coming up this coming Monday, because there have been 2 guests who've been on recently, Cassie Parks and Jeanine Gain. Jeanine Gain was on a couple weeks ago here on Tuesday. And the 2 of them actually do a podcast together. They're going to be on together next Monday. Mm-hmm. So the 2 of them, me, Louie, and Anne Marie, there's going to be 5 of us on that show, but it is going to be fun because we get to hear 2 coaches who have very different views on how you go about applying this stuff in your lives, because one comes very much from the scientific viewpoint. The other one comes very much from the spiritual viewpoint. And just, it's going to be fun listening to those 2 to see how they work in, co-creating, to use the word. I'm sure their co-creation is going to be fabulous. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of different takes. It's just, what do you resonate with? Who do you resonate with?
I love that there's so many different ones out there now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're ever growing. How many people are there on Earth? That's how many there are.
Exactly. I one of the things that I know that we're running out of time here, but going through Taya, it's actually made me realize, it's actually allowed me to see how I operate my energy more clearly. How and that is exactly what I was trying to explain about the attraction, about, the how I was always the person pre-COVID that would be on an airplane and I would get the baby to stop crying. I would, here, let me take the baby. Here you go. The toddler, I get the toddler. It's just a certain energy, and I want to use that energy. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I want to use my energy. So that's what's coming down the pipe for me.
And you are. It's pretty evident that that's what you're doing.
That's
you're doing
it already. Down the pipe.
So yeah, it's just a question of when it's going to arrive. That's all.
That's even more exciting.
I am so out of my funk. I'm so happy. It's like, it's incredible. It's like, wow, clarity. Clarity is so wonderful, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
Clarity.
Yeah.
There's a reason why that's at the top of the Abraham Hicks emotional guidance scale. Clarity really is a high vibe place. It's wonderful.
Well, David will say the same thing. His most favorite manifestation is clarity.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because from clarity, you can go anywhere from that.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, does that man know about clarity. You have to in order to channel. That's just one leads to the other. You can't really have one without the other. So.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to raise your vibe, or actually give you the opportunity to raise your own vibe. You did it yourself. We supported you. You did it.
I love you. I love
so
you.
True.
It's such a love nest on Tuesdays.
It is.
I know.
And I'm loving how much progress Bridget's making.
Yeah, right?
She's like a shooting rocket. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. I think this one's module 10's gonna take me a little longer, but that's okay because it's finally getting me to do my vision board that I wanted to do for so long. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Very
totally
good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You haven't actually done well in Thai until you stumbled against something. So well done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've stumbled, but this one will be a little bit more.
Yeah, you told
maybe a little more.
I remember some of these.
Yeah.
So you had some serious spiral DTS stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fellow boot campers, we'll see you later on tonight. And to podcast listeners everywhere, thank you very much for listening.
Bye,
because
guys.
without you, we wouldn't have a podcast. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.